Welcome to the LDN Radio Show, brought to you by the LDN Research Trust. I'm your host, Linda Elsiegood. I have an exciting lineup of guest speakers who are LDN experts in their field. We will be discussing low-dose Naltrexone and its many uses in autoimmune diseases, cancers, etc. Thank you for joining us. This show is sponsored by our members who made donations. We'd like to give them a very big thank you. We have to cover the monthly costs of the radio station's software, bandwidth, phone lines and phone calls to be able to continue with the radio show. And thank you for listening. Today I'd like to introduce Astrid from Norway, who uses LDN for MS. Thank you for joining us today, Astrid.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Can you tell us, how long ago was it when you first noticed your MS symptoms?
That's a good question. I was diagnosed in 1996 and 29 years old. And I got the diagnosis just over a period from I was getting sick to had the diagnosis established. It was 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I have a kind of strange loop for this, because normally people are kind of sick for a long time and don't figure out what is wrong with them. But my MS was like a big surprise for me when I got it, and I was kind of shocked. But I had a friend of a mother of a friend who I had grew up with, who has MS, and also a cousin of my father. And both these ladies were really role models, I can say. They were very happy, lived a good life, even though they were using wheelchair, and you can really see they were sick, but they had very good life and were very happy, generous woman. So I was like not so scared, but of course very surprised when I got the diagnosis. But when I look back in the retro perspective, I can find episodes and also some issues that have been bothering me during the years before I got the diagnosis that I can now relate to the MS diagnosis. But I didn't recognize it as something that I did go to the doctor with.
Yes.
So, so I got the diagnosis, and at the moment I was kind of sick. Didn't manage to put the buttons on my blouse, and had the kind of bad walk and needed to use the wheelchair for a while, but kind of recovered kind of quick. And I felt like it was nothing to bother about. Kept on doing as I did before, and didn't want to recognize that I was sick, really. And this went on for almost 2 years, and then I went to a surgery for my back, and just a couple of weeks after that surgery, I got another attack, who's kind of put my feet away. And then the doctor explained the reason for this attack was the, what do you call it? I was under this...
the anesthetic?
Yeah. So I was completely away during the during the procedure, and they explained that it was due to that this attack was triggered. They explained.
Mm-hmm.
So I still didn't get any offer for any medicine for MS, only for pain.
Okay.
So I used all this bad stuff like side effects, Lyrica, Neurontin, all this medicine for epileptic normally.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of more and more affected by the fatigue and the neuro pain for MS.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
More and more. And the doctor couldn't really help me. I wasn't qualified to get the medicine to slow down the MS because I was considered in a different pot, or what you can call it, in a different category than they at the time considered to give a medicine to slow down the MS progress.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I know the Norwegian doctors starting to give this right away. But in 96 and in 98, when I had these two big episodes, it was not common yet.
Okay.
And then I had my daughter in 2002, and I had a really good pregnancy, and I was feeling very fit. And as many with MS, we usually get better during pregnancies.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it was a concern to think about that the birth could trigger another attack.
Yes.
So I was very cautious about what I did during the birth. So I did use only the needles for pain relief, and I didn't get any any help from the epidural or things like that. They were careful what they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
So when my daughter started to grow up, I had more and more fatigue and more pain. But it didn't help what the doctors gave me for the pain, and for fatigue, it's not really any medicine who is working. I was trying something called Symetrel for a while, but it really more, what do you call it, triggered it. It was like gave me more fatigue, and so it was the opposite of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met this lady. I don't know if you know about this program we have had in Norway. It's in 2013. It was a program in the Norwegian television.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the lady with MS who was telling her story in that program, I met her in training camp for MS. And she told me about the LDN.
Mm-hmm.
And then I figured out that this is something I want to try, because she was like all over the place with the energy and everything. And I find out I would give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the doctors, and they said this is not proven, so we can't give it to you.
Mm.
But they told me how to get it. They said if I go to your primary doctor, and the primary doctor will give the prescription. It's okay, and we can't really say that you shouldn't take it, but because of policy and blah blah blah, they have decided that all of the Norwegian neuro doctors will not write this prescription.
Okay.
So I did, and in May 2012, I started using LDN, and I have been reading then a lot in Facebook because it started to pop up groups in Norway and in Denmark, and who were sharing stories. And also a special group for only MS and LDN. And I read and concluded that if I start, I need to start with the low dose, very low dose, and increase very slowly. And I did. So I started in May, and in the end of July, I was able to go to holiday with my family for 10 days. We started out with the 3 days of wedding, who normally was kind of so exhausting that I would be like being on the couch for the rest of the week after just one night. And we went on to a park for my daughter, who was 10, and I was for the first time able to spend the whole day walking around in the park together with her. And then we went on for a long ride with the car, and we were away for 10 days. And when I came back, I was exhausted one day. I had to use this coach one day. And
wow,
it was like, wow, something has changed. Something radical has changed. And I still was taking some pain medicine, but I started reducing it. And within February 2013, my doctor stopped prescribing any drugs with opioids for me. And since I came back to work, been working, not full time, but I have been 100%. What do you call it? Out of work since 2001. And I have been more or less, sometimes also in more than 100% in hours working in periods after this. No pain at all longer. I was very often had this problem with my bladder. So I had very much of this, what is the name of it in English? I didn't really manage to control it. So I had a lot of accidents, of course. But I also got a lot of infections.
In your bladder? Yes.
Yeah, in my bladder, yes. It was constantly in infection.
Yeah.
And 2 times it almost cost me my life, more or less, because I got this urosepsis, what they call it in Norway. The blood got infected. So 2 times I went to the hospital, and it was really, really critical. And after I started on LDN, I had no episode of this at all.
Good.
I have never any cold or any flu or things like that. My allergy has gotten better. I use also the catheter to help to empty the bladder, because it didn't empty it completely itself, and that's the reason I got these infections all the time.
So you're self-catheterizing?
Yes. I did for several years, and of course that was not that that much of a joy.
Yes.
So, and no, I don't. I haven't done that since I started on LDN, and I can feel like I need to go to the bathroom for an hour, and I don't have the accidents anymore either. So it's all definitely affected my bladder in a very, very good way. And the energy is like no one. I'm in the board of the local MS society where I live, and it's none of the other one who is really saying that you can't have MS. You're too eager. You're too all over the place. You're too energetic. You are so it's you can't see it, and you can really. I feel like I'm more or less without any diagnosis really at the time. It's a combination with the LDN, and I also take some what is the it is something called soul from the rain. Feels good. What's the name? More like natural medicine based on
D-mannose.
Based on
D-mannose. D-mannose. Take it to flush out your bladder.
I take it for it's more like a drink. I drink it, and it's called pressed oil from seeds.
Oh, okay.
With black cumin seed in it. It's black raspberry seed, and it's Chardonnay grape seed, and this is also very, very good for infections, to prevent infections, and it also gives energy. And it's so this two combination with the LDN and the rain soul, it's been like life-changing.
So if you were to say what your quality of life was like before you started on LDN, and 10 being the best, what would it have been?
I would say between 3 and 4, maybe.
And what would you say?
3.
And what would you say it is today?
10.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. That's a fantastic story.
I can do whatever I like to do, and I can say yes to what I like to do, and I don't need to kind of. Before it was the cost and value measuring. If anything was supposed to happen, I needed to value, is this going to cost me too much, or is it going to give me any value? And everything was like that. And of course, since I had a little daughter, everything was focused like to give her the best possible life. So when she went to the kindergarten and school, I was prioritizing to be on the sofa, do nothing, so that I can have energy to play with her when she came back, help her with school, that she could have friends over and so on. And so everything was kind of on focusing on to give her the best, not what I really wanted. And I'm a kind of person who is used to, I went when I went to school and I went to college and university, I was working beside. I have been also always used to have a very high capacity of work effort.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been used to work a lot and to enjoy working and always kind of be this yes person. And suddenly I had to be this no person in any aspect. Even though I wanted, I knew that this is going to cost me. So it wouldn't be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and now everything is like back to where it was. Like the person I am, I can say yes to what I like to do, and it works.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you don't get the pain anymore either. That's gone.
No, and that was really the big difference, the biggest, I think, because the pain gave me sleep disorder because I was having a very, very bad sleep quality. Even though I was always tired and being on the couch, I didn't really got rest.
Mm-hmm.
And even though if I was lying on the couch and I felt like going to the bathroom because I needed to, it was like, I wait a minute or two, I wait a 5 minutes. I like kind of, it was exhausting just to go to the toilet. So everything was like, and also the pain gave me no calm in the body. It was like constantly like something was going on, like ants inside. And I felt like my whole body is like when you take your muscles and you squeeze them as hard as you can, and you feel like how the body is anxious and in a strain, you know. It felt like this all the time, even though I was lying in the bed. The body was relaxed, but it didn't feel like it. And this pain is all gone. When I lay down now, it feels like I'm relaxed.
Wonderful.
And I don't have any use for pain, and for the neuro pains, it's gone. Also, the MS has this. It's more like lightning pain in eyes, in the ears, in the mouth. It's like going as lightning bolts coming and give you pain for just a few seconds to a minute. And I had a lot of these neuro pains, and they are also all gone.
Oh, that is good. It's very good.
It's so many things that it's disappeared. I don't remember all the pain either, because it's since 2013 I felt like my life restarted again with the LDN. So I have been very, very talking a lot of it. And gave everybody like, you have to try. So they are always asking me, are you selling this or what? No, I say you have to go to the doctor and ask for it. And and in Norway when I started, I had to order the box with a special delivery to my pharmacy place in my city, but now all pharmacies have this in stock.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So in the beginning it was like a special order, but now it's not. And I'm kind of out of curiosity, asking if I go to a new pharmacy and if the people know about the LDN, and ask them if they have a lot of customers, and a lot of them say that it's been common and it's more and more people using it for more and more sickness and diagnosis, and that they recognize that this is something who is working. It's so many people for so many reasons and different reasons who use it, and they recognize it in the pharmacy too.
Wonderful. Well, we've come to the end of the show, and we are so pleased to have heard your story today, Astrid. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
That's my pleasure, and I hope everybody is able to try LDN, because I think it's worth a try anyway.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
This show is sponsored by our members who made donations. We'd like to give them a very big thank you. We have to cover the monthly costs of the radio station's software, bandwidth, phone lines and phone calls to be able to continue with the radio show. And thank you for listening. Any questions or comments you may have, please email me, Linda, Linda, at ldnrt.org. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciated your company. Until next time, stay safe and keep well.